Hello, my friends, and welcome to another Mind Stiller from my heart to yours. You know, a lot of people are pretty anxious these days. There's a lot of turmoil going on in the world. But inside of each one of us who are fortunate enough to be born human, there's a magical place where we can rest and be safe and feel at peace. It's our own inner self. It's like a temple of peace and contentment that we have inside our own heart. It's just the human condition. But many people choose not to go there or believe in that inner temple. But when they get to a place where they're finally sick and tired of being scared and lonely and anxious, people will reach out and change. So I have a lot of people asking me, well, how do you begin? And so today I'd like to share with you a theory, a way of thinking about how to really connect to this inner resource of endless, infinite abundance, power, healing, everything you need in your life. Love, inner love. One of my favorite books is Zen Love. Not Zen Love. I'm confusing my book with the great master, Zen master. It's called Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. Although my book, Zen Love, is pretty good. But today we're going to talk about how to approach the waterfall that Suzuki Roshi, who's the writer of Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, uses as an analogy for tapping into this great inner power that we all can do if we just wish to. You have to first have the desire. If you're going to be skeptical, if you're going to waste time with sarcasm and judgment, well then this is not for you. But if you have finally come to the place in your life where you are just ready to have some peace, then proceed with me and we will approach the magical state of being one with the entirety of this universe. So as an analogy, Suzuki Roshi in Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, uses a waterfall to explain what it's like to go into that state of mind that we get to when we're doing mind stillers, which is a meditation. Or a person can also just do it by reflecting about the presence, as Eckhart Tolle talks about. He is a great teacher, and he doesn't meditate. He's just merely in the state of presence, like 24/7. So you don't have to meditate in order to embrace this state, but you do have to train your mind to embrace this concept. So some people need to meditate in order to reprogram bad habits like obsessive compulsive thinking and monkey mind and all the stuff that we do. And all that has to go and be replaced by the stillness of inner peace. So today, instead of going into a meditation right away, we're going to think about approaching the waterfall of life. Now, if you think of this entire existence that we have as a waterfall, just to use an analogy, some people can look at it as God, which is okay too. God as a waterfall, waterfall as God. A magical waterfall of energy, of power, of unlimited resource. A very beautiful waterfall, like Niagara Falls or Victoria Falls, and all these falls that blow your mind when you see them. You just go, that must be where Oprah Winfrey got her expression, the aha moment. When you see something so powerful as a waterfall, you go, aha. It takes your breath away. So Suzuki Roshi talks about this all-powerful waterfall, if you think of it as the unlimited resource of what we all have within us and is available to all of us, but yet how can we imagine that we are part of the waterfall? Well, just imagine for a moment that you approach a waterfall, that you can put your hand in and just get some water from it. And in your hand, you see that there is water, and it came from the all-powerful waterfall that was filled with billions and billions and billions, uncountable billions of gallons of water. Immeasurable, uncountable. Yet here you are, you have a cup of water in your hand. And you can even drink it. Or you can use it to make a cup of tea. And it will become part of you if you make a cup of tea, because we humans are mostly water. For those of you who know your science, yes, we have minerals and we have blood and we have guts and we have bones and brains and organs, but we are predominantly made out of water. So this metaphor of thinking of the all-powerfulness of life as a waterfall is really beautiful, because we can relate if we realize that we are predominantly water. Suzuki Roshi doesn't get into the science of it. He uses the metaphor of the great waterfall of life as a way for we humans to grasp the enormity of our spiritual beingness, that we are the hand put into the waterfall and having it right in our own palm, and we are that bit of water that has come from the waterfall, yet is still part of the waterfall, energetically and chemically and psychically and quantum physically and spiritually. So, as we approach the waterfall of life in our minds, we must be still. So if you are joining me, be sure there are no distractions around. You don't have your phone on, except if you're looking at me on your phone. You don't have a radio or music or any kids around that can bother you. I used to go into a closet to meditate when I was raising our kids. I was angel mom to my husband's 2 kids, stepmom, in other words. Very hard to be a step parent, but do it. That's what Zen love's about. Zen love is about the spirituality of raising blended family, blended humankind, blended everything. So get yourself into a quiet place, relax your body, be comfortable. And for those of you who practice yoga poses, which are called asanas, know that the true purpose of doing yoga poses is so that you can relax when you're ready to go into meditation, because the place you sit in meditation is also called the asana. So place your ass on the asana and let's approach the waterfall of life. So you can either have your eyes open or closed, and you can follow your breath or just listen to my voice. And as we imagine that we're in a beautiful setting where there is a magnificent waterfall, maybe you've been to a place, maybe you've only seen pictures, but you know that they exist and they are real. And they're very all-consuming in your senses. As you approach the waterfall, you feel the power. You can smell the water. You can smell the ionization of the water molecules in the atmosphere. You can smell the vegetation that is lush around every waterfall, the ferns and the foliage, or the trees and the moss and the lichen. Everything is in abundance around the waterfall. All the animals come to drink at the waterfalls. You're approaching the waterfall and you're feeling very excited, like anticipation, like something magical is going to happen, because You are going to a sacred place, a place of power, a place of magnificence. In the ancient indigenous tradition, any waterfall was considered neutral territory. All warring parties had to drop their weapons and approach the Great Mother as the waterfall without any animosity for their fellow humans. So eliminate any judgment in your heart. Let it be wide open, which is really the definition of opening your heart. No judgment, no fear, no expectation, no attachment to the past, no trepidation about what's to come. Be here, totally present in this moment. And we approach the waterfall, and we see with our own eyes, and we smell, taking a deep breath, the amazing fragrance of power, of molecules energized by the rushing of energy over the rocks and cliffs, and the tactile feeling of moisture, the mist of the water on our face. It's almost like we're in a shower if we get close. And as we approach, we feel very still. It's almost too noisy to listen to our breath. We're approaching the waterfall of life. Now we can just take our hand, and we don't want to stick it right in the powerful part of the waterfall, but on the side, there's always little tiny trickles, which are still part of the waterfall, but they've trickled to the side. So we can take a little cupful of water from the waterfall on the side so we don't damage ourselves or our hands. And we hold in our hand this little bit of waterfall, and we think, I am this part of the waterfall. I am the same as that which it came from, the all-powerful oneness of this magnificence, this unfathomable power. I have it right here in my hand, which is part of me, and I am the waterfall. I am one and the same as the waterfall. The waterfall of life and I are one. My individual power is the same as the power of the waterfall. I am all powerful. I am all one with the idea that from the all powerful I came, and to which I will return one day when this body has worn out. I am one with the waterfall of life. My own power is the same as the all-powerful oneness from which I came, that I am part of, and that every individual on earth in existence is part of. Whether they know it or not doesn't matter. They are. Whether they get to realize it or not before they return to the all-powerful oneness of the waterfall of creativity, the Great Mother. It doesn't matter whether a person really knows that they are one with the waterfall or not. It only matters if I recognize it, remember it, and always carry that within my knowledge, my inner reflection, and how I identify. I am not a woman. I am not silver-haired. I am not this body. I am one with the waterfall. My breath is the reminder. My breath takes me to the waterfall. immerses me into the waterfall of life every time I remember, every time I wish to remember. This power is always within me. This power is always within you. You can visualize, or you can just quietly follow your breath and stay in this state of oneness with the all-powerful waterfall of life. Or you can just use this as a tune-up whenever you feel you've lost that connection. And you can always tell anybody who's suffering that they can choose to remember that they are a molecule in the waterfall of life, that they too hold in their hand the all-powerful, unlimited, intuitive oneness with the waterfall of life. So I hope this has helped, and please be kind to yourself and be kind to all that you meet. Om Namah Shivaya. We are one.